The new flagships from Apple and Google are the iPhone 15 Pro Max and Pixel 8 Pro, respectively. When it comes to their technical sheet or the software they guarantee to provide, they offer the finest from both manufacturers, almost the greatest products on the market nowadays. Which phone should people choose if they can't decide between the finest of the best? The two smartphones, however, are very different from one another and have unique strengths and drawbacks. In order to help you choose between the two smartphones, we will go through everything that makes them appealing in this comparison video. The iPhone's appearance hasn't changed significantly in recent years. Your ability to instantly distinguish an iPhone while out and about is what makes Apple so remarkable. Since its Pixel 6 devices, Google has chosen to follow a similar strategy, carrying over a fairly similar look from earlier iterations. Apple chose a new titanium frame for its Pro models this year, significantly reducing the weight of the gadgets. Although the iPhone 15 Pro Max now weighs only 221 grams, it is still heavier than the Pixel 8 Pro, which has an aluminum frame and weighs only 213 grams. The Pixel 8 Pro, meanwhile, is just a tiny bit bigger than the 15 Pro Max. Despite the fact that both smartphones have glass protection, they do not use the same model. The 15 Pro Max is still entitled to Apple's ceramic shield, which is a touch more durable, while the Pixel 8 Pro relies on Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which is less durable. Both gadgets have IP68 certification for resistance to dust and water. In this category, there aren't any standout smartphones. Your preferences will select the winner. There are several similarities between the screens utilized by the 15 Pro Max and the Pixel 8 Pro. On the two smartphones, there are LTPO OLED displays that can operate at up to 120 Hz and as low as 1 Hz. However, the Pixel 8 Pro has a better resolution at 1440x3120 compared to Apple's 1290x2790 pixels. The Pixel 8 Pro screen's somewhat increased brightness is the primary distinction between the two screens. The latter may reach a peak brightness of 24,400 nits as opposed to just 2,000 nits peak, due to the fact that maximum brightness may only be attained under extremely precise circumstances, such as when viewing certain HDR content outside. You generally won't notice the difference in normal use. The sensors required for Face ID are located between a small punch from Google and a large punch from Apple at the top of the screen. As a result, immersion is a little worse on the Apple smartphone. Also take note that Google has opted for a flat screen similar to the iPhone, abandoning the curved screens of earlier versions. Google has a tiny advantage in this case if the final two panels are nearly identical. Apple has long been the performance leader in the smartphone market because to its own CPUs. The 15 Pro Max achieves new heights on both the CPU and GPU sides thanks to its new A17 Pro chip, the first in the sector to be carved in 3 nanometers. Apple revealed that various video games typically only available on consoles, such as Assassin's Creed Mirage or Resident Evil Village, would be launched at the end of the year on the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max models because of the smartphone's robust hardware. The Pixel 8 Pro, on the other hand, is powered by a brand new Tensor G3 chip. Even while this represents a huge advancement over the previous generation, it cannot hope to match Apple's most recent processors. It is also marginally less efficient than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 that powers the top Android smartphones of 2023, despite having more cores. The Tensor G3 chip in the Pixel 8 Pro only scores roughly 1750 points on one core and 44 points across all cores on the renowned Geekbench 6 benchmark. With ratings between 2900 and 7250, the 15 Pro Max has substantially better raw power. Apple unquestionably wins this category as a result, but let's not forget that these are two highly premium chips. The performance gap between the two will then be negligible when using your smartphone as you would normally. A minor consolation prize for the Pixel 8 Pro. The 15 Pro Max can only use Wi-Fi 6E, leaving it as the sole device that supports the latest Wi-Fi 7 standard. Apple has always been able to provide very strong autonomy on its smartphones, thanks to the tight synergy between the hardware and software of its iPhones, and this has been verified again with the 15 Pro Max. The Pixel 8 Pro also benefits from a slight increase in battery capacity, so the iPhone is not the only device to experience this. Sadly, the slight improvement will not be sufficient to outperform the 15 Pro Max, which is still a leader in the field. The Pixel 8 Pro has somewhat faster wired fast charging this time around to make up for it. It has a maximum output of 30 watts as opposed to the 15 Pro Max 20 watts. With a maximum output of 23 watts, rapid wireless charging is also slightly quicker than Apple products' maximum MagSafe output of 15 watts. The argument here is made in favor of Apple, since users frequently choose autonomy over rapid charging. The iPhone 15 Pro Max and Pixel 8 Pro are both entitled to additional capabilities because Apple and Google have well-established reputations for camera performance. Similar to the 14 Pro Max, the 15 Pro Max has a 48-megapixel primary sensor and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide angle sensor for its camera. A brand new 12-megapixel telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom is now available, as opposed to the 3x zoom that was previously available. As a result, the iPhone gains a little more versatility and can now compete with some premium Android smartphones. Compared to the 15 Pro Max, the Pixel 8 Pro boasts a new 50-megapixel GN2 primary sensor, so theoretically we could anticipate better pictures in low light. It is supported by a new larger 64-megapixel IMX787 ultra-wide angle sensor, as well as a 48-megapixel GM5 telephoto lens offering 5x optical zoom. Google is therefore changing almost all of the sensors on the back of its high-end smartphone, which could well cause problems for Apple. Finally, note that the 15 Pro Max used a LiDAR scanner, while the Pixel 8 Pro uses a more traditional time-of-flight sensor for calculating distances. It was frequently difficult to choose between the Pixel 7 Pro and 14 Pro Max, but this year the Pixel 8 Pro may have a little advantage, at least on paper. Keep an eye on our channel for additional updates as we put these phones' cameras through rigorous testing to see which one is the king of computational photography. Like in previous years, choosing between iOS and Android is still challenging. The most recent versions of the Apple and Google operating systems, iOS 17 and Android 14, have each incorporated new functionality, so they now have a lot of features in common. Google now guarantees a total of 7 years of software updates, putting it roughly on par with Apple in this regard. But almost 10 years after their release, Apple has already rolled out some security patches on its iPhones. Software monitoring will therefore take longer at Apple, which will let you benefit from the latest features for longer. However, each has its own strengths and weaknesses. On the one hand, Android, thanks to Google, gives you more freedom, whether in personalizing your smartphone or your interactions with other devices. On the other hand, integrating iOS into the manufacturer's ecosystem is always the best. Your choice will therefore depend on your personal preferences and the other devices you already own, but also on the features specific to the two OS that might interest you. You would have seen that the Pixel 8 Pro stands out the most in this comparison due to its more appealing pricing and its technical sheet, which is inferior to that of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Therefore, Google's smartphone comes out as a highly credible alternative to Apple's handsets, especially if you're seeking a good deal. However, choosing the 15 Pro Max can be preferable if you are already a part of the Apple ecosystem. That is, if you possess a Mac computer or another Apple product. This will profit from unique capabilities shared by iOS and other Apple devices such as continuity, which enables you to start a task on your iPhone and immediately continue working on it on your PC. Which do you believe is better for you then? Please share your thoughts in the comments box below, and for more updates, you can check out our channel. See you in the next one. Peace out.